Well, I'm friends, I'm back on episode 6 of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. That's what's being translated in West. I don't know why, because the Japanese name is Vigilante My Hero Academia Illegals. That's what's going to Japan, but the name was simplified in the West. Mostly due to simplification, that's why it became, just My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just wondering why. And this is quite a unique episode focused on the character. This shows potential for him. Maybe because I looked it up. I'm not going to say anything about what's going to happen next. Because I don't know much. But this guy seems to return in a later arc. Most maybe in season 2 or part 2. I don't know. I still don't know if this movie's thing calls or not. That's why I did up title parts. Hence why, they're not titled in parts. So I really don't know, but I guess we'll find out. And we'll find out episode broadcast later this month. So the episode, actually open up with some Yakuza again. Open how the city's changed now because of heroes. And sometime later, I don't know. That vigilante appeared in the last episode. I forgot his name, but I may know who he is. And they're killing off all the Yakuza. And he has a quirk. He paralyzes people by licking their blood. Sound familiar? Well, spoiler if you've not read or watched My Hero Academia, the main series, that is. This comes from the third story. This comes in season 2 of the anime. On the second half of it. It's on the second half of season 2. You'll see the story arc. But anyway, it's the hero. This is actually, obviously, future hero killer Stain. Oh, he was in Cold Stain back then. He was in Ghost Stain back then. This is the character that Deku, Ida, and Todoroki will face off against and defeat. It's one of those well-known great characterization arcs of Ida. So again, I recommend you go read it, give that arc a chance. It's good. But that arc goes on important for Deku to learn how to use his 1-for-all powers. Anyway. Lucy's space is never properly shown in the entirety of the episode. Again, this is a great way for new fans to get into the series. It doesn't tell you anything of what's gonna happen. That's not a video. It doesn't tell you who these guys are. It's really smart. Prequel spin-off. And All Might doesn't even have that much of a presence in this series. Think about it. All Might's never physically appeared once. He does get a scene in the manga a little bit later. He does get a scene a little bit later in the manga. But what kind of rumors to be in the first chapter of the manga of the gag of All Might, so yeah. I hope they will adapt it, but anyway, he has to meet up with Hachisuka. he ends up giving her the blood samples he got from those Yakuza. And she's one crazy girl. And see, she just got his next target, so he says, don't. Well, she'll lock film. It shows he's different as he leaves. Suka's still intrigued with him. Meanwhile, and also Soga, that's the name of the guy with the spikes, and their fire guy, I forgot his name, ends up visiting their friend who's their reptile friend. As well, who got his ass kicked all the way back in episode 1. 2, sorry. He got his ass whipped in episode 2. So guys are asking his friend if he ever wants to fly again, which he doesn't want to. He learned his lesson the halfway from that. I'll never use the trigger again. Well, Soga becomes sympathetic in his arc. We thought he was just a no-good jerk. Someone like Bakugo in the main series. We start with meeting them as complete jerks. Assholes. Over time, we learn more about their motivations and sympathize with them. Bakugo may be a dick all the time, but he's not that bad of a person. And he showed his growth in the Dark Deku arc. He showed his growth in that arc by even apologizing to the Deku for everything he's done over the years. Again, that's character growth. And well, seeing Soga go through this. Well, but again, I don't know much what's going to happen, but I read up what's happening to him later in the story. So, what I learned, I'm not spoiling. So anyway, Soga ends up talking to Hachisuka. He wants to shows that he cares for his friends and wants to lead them out of this. Doesn't want to drag them into this anymore. Is he? And so refuses to take the drugs anyway. He wants to face off against this villain killer with his regular quirk. That's when he shows up. And Hachisuka won't have that. Wants to make this fight more interesting. And basically uses her B quirk to inject trigger into Soga. As we get a bit of a flashback, we learn he has a lot of mental. He was looked down for his appearance. Just because he looked like a villain, he was labelled as one. People looked down on him just because of that. And well, he had a lot of mental stress. He had a lot of mental stress causing him to see people with fake smiles that are not serious enough. You know, Koichi's more genuine. Even giving flashbacks of Koichi and Pop. But I mean, Pop didn't really do anything to them. They just started going on to her in the first place. But again, though, he's suffering a lot of mental stress because of that. Making the way he is today. And his friends are like that too. And he does care for them. This was why my hero was good. Take people we thought were just terribly evil assholes, jerks, and give them and show us they're sympathetic. Like character Shigaraki, we didn't know about his backstory for a while. Well, we do get to realize he's actually the grandson of Mike's mentor, but we don't know don't know what made him the way he is. We eventually find his backstory, get his backstory, which is kind of sad. If you know, you know. I'm not going to say anything about what happen in that backstory, in case you want to watch the series yourself. But it was a truly heartbreaking story. It's truly heartbreaking. Now, oh, it's just sad. Again, villains we thought were evil demon role actually are more sympathetic. Toga is also sympathetic in her own way. She looks like a psycho, but she's kind of sympathetic. I don't understand what she really is. Yeah, I understand the outside could be, but she doesn't think that way, and she's kind of sympathetic. Again, it takes villains and make them sympathetic. Also, I liked about the show, the franchise, the series. It really makes villains who seem irredeemable into making us sympathize with their backstories, making them more human than just one-note villains. I mean, unlike in classic superhero comics, where villains were very, very simple, just one note, losing not really sympathetic. But of course, that was under the time, but times change. Interestingly enough, like, take the character of Mr. Freeze. He was just a simple bad guy who just steals stuff, and just a guy in a suit with ice gun. But the animated series, Batman animated series, changed his origin to be more of a sympathetic character. Well, some of them are still villains, but just selfish reasons. But you get my point. Marvel added human elements to some of the characters too over the years. So most of Spider-Man's roles carry. At most recent times, they made Doctor Octopus a sympathetic character in some media. Like he wasn't a villain, but someone had made him become one. Like in the Sam Raimi, like in Spider-Man 2 from Sam Raimi. I give him his mouse. You get my point. He was just a regular scientist, but after an accident, his arms fused and manipulating his mind. It wasn't full. He go crazy and became a villain. Or in the Insomniac games, although Octavius was a good person, a good man, but pushed too far because of a selfish man, and the technology that came back in his mind, he became a villain. Again, it's the sympathy level that makes you really love villains sometimes. Or you can just love how just funny, cartoony, evil they can be sometimes. Can't be, not one being campily, not one being just funny or just evil saying something wrong with that idea. I just to say my point. That's all. It's just makes me really like the series. It's really give you hard. Anyway, Soga ends up becoming a porcupine humanoid. Eh? Okay. That's just kind of weird. But, I'd say that is kind of weird. But not that weird. I think. I don't fucking know. But, yeah. It's a bang against this villain killer. Koichi, he was just on duty at the time. He was just patrolling. And he had a commotion scene. Like, realize this guy's dangerous, trying to kill Soga. But Koichi tries to stop to that, but ends up coming to mercy of this guy's quirk. Lucky, Knuckleduster shows up this it on the day. Well, he's up beating this guy to up. I'm getting into a lot of that, but yeah. And that ended up making me see a bit of his face. And again, man, this has got to be a young hero killer Stain. He's a young Stain. before he became the character he is today. And when we say Knuckles is the reason he got his ideology. Meaning that fake heroes, heroes that are fake, should not exist in this world. Like, the only true hero person who exists as a hero is All Might. Hence what he did. And, yeah, next is even like, oh shit. What the hell did you do, Knuckle Duster? You like think that. Because we know what's going to happen next in this character's journey. Anyway, it's just obviously Stain, so I'm just going to call him that. Stain retreats. Now with a new ideology. And you see Soga start to change a bit. You know, seeing Koichi risk his life. It starts to change Soga a bit. You see that? Koichi didn't look down on him. He was just scared, yes. But he's not a bad person. And you can tell that Pop likes Koichi. Oh yeah. Hey, now new motivation. The guy, this insane guy, ends up starting his journey to become the hero killer. As he basically puts on a mask to become someone else. And so he rids himself of that mask. No, he rids himself of a mask. A metaphoric mask, specifically. As he embodies who he is now. Not pretending to be someone else. Not pretending to be different. He's admitted that he has no mask, in a way. Metaphorically, obviously. And how does he do that? By cutting off his own bloody nose. I am not joking. I always found it weird why he looked the way he did, but now I understand why he cut off his own bloody nose. I like how he just kept never fully shown. His face is never fully shown. Ever. And yeah, it's cleverly hidden. This is the birth of Hero Killer Stain. His journey. But it took him years to become active now. So what was he doing in between those few years? Who knows? Yeah, that ends the episode. Now that's a great story, and shows that anyone can be redeemed. And you really sympathize with Soka. You probably was like an ass, like just a typical bully. He was insane, but he's sympathetic, and this is starting to change. I actually like it. It really helps you rethink of a character when you character you hate it at first, but given the backstory, you have to rethink of your thoughts of the character. I like that. I like it. So I'm looking forward to see how this goes. But next episode, Koichi ends up meeting a girl from college. Someone talks to him in college for once. Until months. So we'll see how that goes. So thank you guys for watching. Enjoy my content, please thumbs up button. Want to see more, subscribe channel, always going to be. And I'll see you guys later for more episodes. Did I get the comment wrong? Or am I missing contents? Yeah, probably missing contents. So I'll see you guys later. Cupid's out.